Hello and welcome to Inside Home Brewing. I'm Jay Thomas. Today's beer is going to be a Roggenbier. I'm going to be brewing this up. This is going to be the second beer out of 4 I'm brewing for the Brew United Homebrew Challenge. Okay, here's what the challenge is. I'm going to be making the Roggenbier. The requirements are as follows. The hop bill must be either 25% or more Hallertau or 25% or more of pearl hops. The rest of the hop bill can be any hops grown in continental Europe, brewer's choice. I'm going to be using all German Hallertau. Got 2 ounces of whole leaf hops. Okay, the grain bill makes it a little challenging. Base malt bill of fermentables must be at least 20% Vienna malt plus at least another 20% of the base malt must be one and only one of the following: Munich malt, German Pilsner malt, Belgian Pilsner malt, Bohemian Pilsner malt, wheat malt, or rye malt. What I got going on is I have rye malt is 50%, German Vienna 36.4%. Okay, so that falls into the guidelines. And the yeast strain is of continental yeast strain. I'm using the Y yeast 3333 wheat. I have that going. That's bubbling away as my starter right now. And the grains also, let me see what it says here. The grains, specialty grain, must use at least 5% Cara Munich or Cara Vienna. Malt color is left to the brewer. I am using Cara Munich 1, and that's just 3/4 of a pound, but that still gives me 6.8% of the grist. Then the other grains I'm using is German Red X, 4.5% of the grist. That's at a half pound, and a 1/4 pound of German Carafa 1. That's for color adjustment, and that's only 2.3% just to darken it up a little bit. It's going to be a full double decoction mash. It's going to take a long time. I don't really like doing a decoction, but the results should be worth it. So, let's get busy. First thing I need to do, I'm going to soak I got about a pound of rice hulls here. That's so we don't get stuck sparge with like 5.5 pounds of rye malt. We don't want a stuck sparge. So I'm going to soak the rice hulls so it doesn't change the amount of absorption in the grains. Dump in some of our spring water in there and stir those up. Needs more water. What it does is it's going to absorb this water and not really be absorbing any of the mash water. And also it's going to be cleaning the dirt off of there. It don't look dirty, but when you drain out this water, it is dirty. Going to add a little bit more water to that. Those all get mixed in with all the grains we got sitting over here. Moving right along. Got all the hops are weighed out, ready to go. Added some Irish moss powder in there. Probably unnecessary. It's going to be a cloudy beer, but have the grains in the mash tun kind of mixed up a little bit with the rinsed off rice hulls. We're looking at the correct temperature for our dough in. Shut off the heat. Start mashing. All the strike water's in there. Just mix it up. Make sure that all the grain is wet, no clumps. Make sure all the rice hulls are thoroughly mixed throughout. Hoping for an even dispersal. Put the lids on to hold that temperature. timer for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to draw off some of that wort to start the decoction. Alright, the first rest is all done. I'm going to draw off almost 2 gallons now. See how this works. Hopefully we'll have a nice runoff. I'm going to take almost 2 gallons, put it in this pot, slowly warm it up to 150 degrees, let it convert for about a half hour, then boil it for a little while and add it back to the water, slowly adding it into the water until the temperature reaches 122 degrees. Whatever's left over is going to just sit to the side until that becomes 122 degrees, and add it back in. Then let it rest. So here we go. Alright, our mash is at 152 degrees, perfect temperature. So we're going to take that off the heat. I'm going to set it aside. Press this down inside there. Hold the heat instead of heating up the top. Could have cut that a little better. That's alright. Put the lid on. Put it inside the styrofoam thing. Cover it with the blanket. Leave it there for about 30 minutes. Then we're going to take it out, boil it for a little while, then add it back to the mash, the main mash with all the grains. Well, that rest is done. Make sure it's all converted. Take a sample, put it on the plate, drop some iodine on there. No color change. I kind of spilled too much, but if it turns black, it's not converted. There'd still be starch present. So it's about the same color, so it's good to go. Going to boil this and add it back to the mash tun. Alright, that's been boiling for a while. So what I'm going to do is add it back into here until we achieve a temperature of about 122 degrees. Right now, it's probably just under 100 like it has been. Yeah, just under 100. So what I'm going to do is pour some of this into here, boiling hot. Get a better view there. Pour a little bit of that in there. Stir it around. Needs more. It's at 110 degrees now. Pour a little more in there. $118. 120. Looks like we guessed pretty well on how much to use. At 7 quarts. About 124 degrees. All stirred around. Where we need to be. A little bit left over. Just going to let that sit and cool off till that's 122 degrees. Add it back in there. That's all done. Drawing off some more. liquid. This time I'm going to need about, it calls for 12 quarts, so we need 3 gallons. Get 3 gallons from the mash tun into there, heat it up to 150 degrees. Let it sit for a half hour to convert all the starch to sugar. Boil it, do the same thing all over again. That is going to raise the temperature in the mash tun up to 155, 150 degrees. We're shooting for about 150, maybe a little higher. Alright, that's all done. Going to do the iodine test. See if that converted. Looks like it. It's hard to get these to drop off of there. Yeah, there we go.
No, is that much lighter green or something?
No color change, so it's good to go.
Alright.
Well, it passed the starch conversion test. Now it's going to be bring it to a boil and do like we did last time. Just add the boiling wort into the grain bed in the mash tun and finish the conversion on the rest of the grains. Alright, that's been boiling for about 15 minutes. Going to add that back to the grain bed to finish our decoction mash. We're going to have to check it a couple times and trying to get it up to about 150 degrees, 155 degrees, somewhere in there. Add a little bit, stir it up. Nice thick mash. Add a little more. Take a temperature reading. Got to stir it up real good to get an accurate reading. We're looking at, right now, showing 152. Stir it up a little more. We're going to call that good. Seal that up. Let it sit for a half hour. And then we'll add the rest of the mash once this batch has cooled down. Add to the same temperature. Add it back into here. Good to go. Stuck sparge? Of course. It's almost all drained out. Been having problems even with all the rice hulls in there. Just not wanting to run out correctly and quickly enough. A little bit of work. Seems to be going now. Going to collect all this, then put it back to the brew kettle. I have my sparge water, last of the sparge waters in there now. Put it all back in the brew kettle and start the boil. Alright, the decoction is all done. Everything's back into the brew pot, boiling. Been boiling just for, I don't know, about 5 minutes now. Time to add some hops. Here we go. 1.5 ounces of the German Hallertau. There we go. There's 1 ounce plus another 1/2 ounce. Now is when you really got to watch for the boil over. Those hops act like a lid. Give it a little stir. We're rocking now. Set the timer. Good to go. We're at about 10 minutes until we add the finish hops. Boiling away great. Got the wort chiller ready to go. Almost. Need to add the ice and the water. Long brew day coming to an end. Another half hour or so we'll be done. Last hop addition is in. We're ready to go. Just a couple more minutes of boiling. We're going to move the boil pot elevated a little bit. It's going to run down through the wort chiller and into the carboy. Alright, here we go. Got the boil kettle elevated. It's going to come down through the wort chiller and out into the carboy. Open up the valves. See what happens. It's going to flow through. Here we go. Got some of the wort coming out now. Shut that off. There we go. Boil kettle, boiling hot. Through the wort chiller, coming out the other end. Into the carboy. I have the oxygen all set up, ready to go for when that's done. Just about 15 minutes, it'll all be ready to rock. It's almost done filling. I turned on the oxygen. Still a little bit flowing through. Give it some oxygen. Then I'm going to add the yeast. Filled that up pretty good. Done flowing. Time to add the yeast. It's all filled up. Took a hydrometer reading. Looks like a 1.054, which is right where we want to be. Adding the yeast. And that'll top it off. Another full carboy. Let's put away into the coolest room in the house. It's going to be fermenting at about 72 to 70 degrees. Good to go. It's been a long brew day. I do not recommend decoction mashing. Do not try that at home. But if you want the best there is, take the extra steps. So it took about 7.5 hours to do a double decoction mash on that Roggenbier for the Brew United Homebrew Contest. Well, that's the Brew United Homebrew Challenge. It was a challenge. So now, time for a homemade Kolsch. Got that fermenting, put that away for a few weeks, transfer it to secondary, go from there. It's a good day. Okay, about an hour and a half later, here we go. That's what a good yeast starter does. That's why we have a blow-off tube. Get that swapped out. Everything's going great. And we'll leave that blow-off tube on there for a day or two, and then put on the regular fermentation lock. And just let it sit for about 3 weeks till I get back to it to transfer to secondary. Alright, we're back to Inside Homebrewing. Tonight's project is the Roggenbier for the Brew United Homebrew Challenge that I made it's been 3 weeks now. Time to transfer that into secondary. So what I got going on, everything's sanitized, cleaned, ready to go. I just need to, I'm going to put a 5-gallon jug of beer. And I lost a bit on the blow-off, and we got a bunch of trobe on the bottom in the yeast sediment, so I'm losing some on the bottom there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it into this 6.5-gallon fermenter. But first, got to displace the air inside there with CO2. So I'll clean up the hose. We'll just displace the air with CO2. Get all the air out of there. I'm going to put the jug on the chair and siphon away. Alright, the air has been displaced from the carboy with the CO2. Ready to siphon. Filled up the hose with water. That in. Can't quite see where it is. It's alright. Start a siphon. For the hydrometer reading. That all the way to the bottom, quietly siphon it out. Take my hydrometer reading. 1.010. Looking good. That's just siphoning away. That'll take a few minutes. Meantime, we're going to test out what this one tastes like. Looks real good. We have a winner. Going to call that good enough. Do have some loss. Probably about 3.5 gallons in there now. That's okay. Tastes really good. It has a the hops are there, but the rye is definitely there. It's got a crispness, even that's uncarbonated and room temperature. It's about 68 degrees. Been fermenting at 68 degrees. It's really good. It's got rye and hops. I don't know. See what it's like cold. I think it's very smooth. It's damn good beer. So we got some lost. Gonna put this into the ferment chamber out in the garage at 50 degrees, and it'll stay at 50 degrees until I get around to transferring the smash Pilsner that's in there. Then that's gonna drop down to 38 degrees, cold crash it for a little while, and bottle. And I'm going to let it cool down to 50 degrees for a few days until I get around to transferring the smash that's in the stainless steel fermenter. And then I'm going to cold crash it, cold crash this, then bottle it about a week later whenever I get around to it. And this one will be just going to lager for a long time. Until next time. Inside Home Brewing. Well, it's bottling day. The Roggenbier has been cold crashed for a few days now. So I pulled that out of the ferment chamber. Got some bunch of bottles soaking in here, and got more in the bathtub soaking in the in another cooler thing. So get those rinsed out, and get some bottling sugar boiling away. Bottle caps cleaned up, ready to go. Well, all the bottles are sanitized and ready to go. Got 2 cups of water and it's about 7/8 of a cup of corn sugar. Bring that to a boil. All the bottle caps counted out. Going to bring that to a just boil. Give them a quick boil. All right, I just did a quick boil on the bottle caps. The corn sugar solution has been boiling for a couple minutes. So now I'm going to get out the hose and start to siphon into the bottle bucket. Okay, getting ready to do the siphon. Take the corn sugar solution, put that in the bottling bucket, and I'll fill up the hose and start siphoning that on top of there. Has cleared the base, sir. It's now deep. Set a course to the gallon system. 1-6. Yes. Captain back there. He's probably close to the don't worry about Captain Saving the beer on top of the corn sugar solution. and take a gravity reading. Should be the same as what it was when we transferred it. It's all set. Okay, time to just gently stir that around without oxidizing it. Just a little bit to get that sugar dispersed throughout there. Probably already is without stirring it, but I'd just like to make sure. Time to bottle. These 4 bottles I'm going to put aside for the Brew United Homebrew Challenge. Ship a couple off to them. Make sure I fill them correctly. And I'll choose from these 4 which I'm going to send. That's all we got. Right, I came up to 36 beers. Got them all filled. Gonna start capping. Alright, the important ones put away first. Set them aside and continue on. Okay, that's all done. Got it all bottled. Ready to go. So what I need to do now is enjoy a home brew. Got a ghost, traditional ghost. Oh yeah. Have that, but first, need to sample what was just bottled again.
We're taking you back to the Enterprise. We've stabilized your vital signs. All right, let's go now.
One moment. Mr. Crusher.
Yes, sir?
Are you doing in such a filthy uniform?
Wow, that is very smooth. That's really good. Hopefully it'll do something.
at the Brew United Homebrew Challenge. Get this all put away, and then I'm going to be making a yeast starter for the next Brew United Homebrew Challenge beer I'm making, which is going to be a brain dead, a oatmeal stout. I'm doing that tomorrow. We'll get that posted up here for you to watch also. Oh, wow. That ghost is really good. Till next time, Inside Home Brewing. We'll see you then.